Welcome, cadets, to your formal training in area and perimeter. Please stand by for incoming message from your space captain. To calculate the perimeter of any 2D shape, we need to remember that perimeter means to measure around. So it could mean the outline, the boundary, or the outside of the shape. Perimeter measures the total of all sides of the shape, item, or object. We describe perimeter as walking around a basketball court, counting your steps all the way around. In this example, we see a square. We can see, based on our picture, that it says that each side of the square is measured at 6 centimeters per side. So remember, if we're wanting to calculate the perimeter, and perimeter means to calculate the outside, and we know that we need to add all the sides together, that must mean to calculate the perimeter of this shape, we need to add 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6. In this example, we see that we are adding 6 by 6 by 6 by 6, which equals, that's right, 24. The total perimeter of this shape is 24 centimeters. During our investigation of perimeter and area, you will notice that some of the examples of shapes do not express all the values. That is to say, there are missing numbers. In this example, we can see that there are lines through 3 of the sides of our square and a value of 6 centimeters on the bottom. From our prior knowledge of the properties of squares, we know that all the lengths of each side must be the same for it to be a square. Therefore, whenever you see a line through the side of a shape, it is indicating the length required. Or it's identifying that the length required may be the same value of a length in that shape already. So again, when calculating the perimeter of a shape, we need to be looking at the lengths of all sides of the shape and adding them together. In this example, we see a rectangle that has 2 longer horizontal lines and is made up of 2 shorter vertical lines. We can see that the vertical lines indicate that it is 2 meters each side and that the horizontal lines are 10 meters per side. So we need to add all these sides together. So it would be 10 plus 10 plus 2 plus 2. Do you know the answer? That's right. 10 plus 10 is 20, plus 4 is 24. Well done. Our perimeter of this shape is 24 meters. When calculating the perimeter of a rectangle, we need to rely on what we already know about the properties of rectangle and how they classify. We know that a rectangle has 2 shorter sides that are vertical and 2 longer horizontal lines. So again, we can see that there are missing values, but because of our prior knowledge, we do not need to panic. We simply think back to what we already know about the shape. In our formal working, a way of remembering the calculations of area and perimeter can be remembered like this. Perimeter equals length plus width times 2. Now let's see if that works out. I can see on my shape that the length is 10 meters and that the width is 2 meters. So let's see if this calculation works. Perimeter equals length plus width times 2. So we have 10 plus 2, which equals 12, multiplied by 2, 24. Wow, it's the same as adding all the sides together. That was much easier. Here we are being asked to calculate the perimeter of a triangle. In this example, all 3 of our sides have different lengths, but we don't need to worry because we know that to calculate the perimeter of any shape, we need to add all the sides together. So in this example, we can see that we have a side that is 4 centimeters, a longer side that's 7 centimeters, and then another side that is 5 centimeters. So 4 plus 7 plus 5, 16 centimeters. That was easy. Area is the surface of a shape. It refers to the amount of space within a boundary, or a perimeter, of a shape. Area requires us to measure the inside of the surface as if we are going to cover it without any overlay or gaps. Now here's a tip. To calculate area, all we need to know is the perimeter of a shape. In this picture, we see somebody attempting to paint their wall in a lovely colour of blue. They won't be able to paint the entire wall unless they know the area of the wall and how much paint they will need. This is why understanding area and perimeter is so important. When calculating the area of a square, all we need to know is the perimeter values. We know from our prior knowledge in shapes that a square has 4 equal sides that are all the same length. In this example, all of our lengths are 4 centimeters each. To calculate the area of this shape, we simply need to multiply the length of one side by the length of another. So in this case, area equals length times length, So area equals 4 metres times 4 metres. So the total area of this shape is 16 metres squared. When calculating the area of a rectangle, again, all we need to know is our perimeter values. We know from our prior knowledge of rectangles that we have two lengths that are significantly longer and a width that provides a shorter measurement. To calculate the area of a rectangle, we need to multiply the length by the width. So in this case, area equals length times width. Area equals 10 times 2, so area equals 20 metres squared. When calculating the area of a triangle, we need to remember a very simple equation. We look for the length that identifies the base, or a horizontal value, and a length that will indicate our height of our triangle, which will be represented as a vertical value. In this case, our base value is 5 centimetres. Our height value is 4 centimetres. The tricky part of this formula is we need to multiply our base by our height, and then divide our total by 2. So our formula for calculating the area of this triangle is area equals base times height divided by 2. So area equals 5 times 4 divided by 2. Area is equal to 20 divided by 2. Therefore, our total area is 10 metres squared. Just to refresh your memory on the formulas for area and perimeter for calculating a square. For perimeter, it equals side plus side plus side plus side, because there are 4 sides in our square that will all be the same length. To calculate the area of a square, all we need to remember is area is equal to the length times another length. To calculate the area and perimeter of a rectangle, we need to remember the following equations. To calculate perimeter, we need to remember that it is length plus width times 2. And for area, it is simply length times width. To calculate the area and perimeter of a triangle, we need to remember the following equations. To calculate perimeter, we need to remember side plus side plus side. And for area, we need to remember that the formula is base times height divided by 2. Thank you for watching this presentation, cadets. Now please stand by for end transmission.